Hello there. In this video, this is kind of a part 2 to the other video about the puff flowers. I thought I might as well do this because this is really the start of anyone learning how to crochet. This is the other side of the cushion that I'm making for a friend. So it's going to go something like this when I eventually get down to the bottom. It's been quite a bit of work to try and work out how to measure the flowers and the cushion. Anyway, that's all in my head. But this is a traditional granny square. Hope you can see that. And it's really the bread and butter of crochet, and how you can get into the rhythm of crochet. So I think it's best to do a tutorial on just the normal simple granny square. So I'm going to do that as well. So here it is. Okay, this is how I do a traditional granny square. Right, I'm going to start by doing my silly version of a slip knot. So I go around like that and around like that and slip through. And I've said before that there are many easier versions of doing it, but I do a silly way. So now we're going to chain 6. So as I've said before as well, crochet is about the yarn over like that to create a new stitch. So yarn over and pull through, and that's a chain. So I'm going to do 5 more. 2, 3, 5, 6, and there you go, you created your 6 chains there. Then you go back to the first chain, first available chain, slip your hook through like that, and then you do a slip stitch, which is a yarn over, pull through, and then pull through that second stitch there. So then when we look like this, if we can get it straight, we see hopefully that we've created a circle, which is not twisted like mine was just then. Haha. Okay, so we pull it through like that, and then there's a hole there, as you can see. Now what we need to do now is we need to create 3 double crochets to create what's called a shell or a cluster. Okay, now for the first double crochet we need to chain 3. So we want to yarn over again and chain, chain and chain. Now that is the equivalent to a double crochet. Now I'm doing this in American terms, so sorry Brits, but I've learnt all I know on YouTube. So then we do our first proper double crochet now, which is yarn over, go into the center, come out, yarn over, go through 2 loops, yarn over, go through 2 loops, and that, my friends, is a double crochet. We do 1 more, yarn over, go through the center, come through, yarn over, go through 2 loops, yarn over, through 2 loops. Now that is what we call a shell or a little cluster like that. So now we're going to chain 2. So chain 2, and now with that same center, just put that yarn at the back. Actually, we're going to put it around the work so that we'll go with it, and then we're going to do another 3 double crochets, another set of 3. Okay, so we're going to do another set of 3. That's 1, yarn over, go through, yarn over, go through, yarn over, and go through, and then yarn over, go through, yarn over, go through. Now straighten it out. You see you've done another 3 there. Okay, so then you do another chain 2, and then just put this around like this. Do another set of 3, so that's your first one, and yarn over, go through, pull a stitch through, come over, yarn over, through, there we go, that's your second one, and then yarn over, go through, go, that's your 3 again, and then you do another chain 2 like that. Okay, so then you do another set of 3 double crochets, which is yarn over, go through, yarn over, go through, there we go, that's 1, yarn over, go through, fiddly, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, now you see you've got 2, 1 more, yarn over, go through, yarn over, go through, just pull some wool, here we go, there we go. Now that's your 3 there, so then we chain 2, right, now what's happened here is that you're getting a bit of a square going, so now you count 3 up like that, and you go up to the top there, top chain, and this is the slip stitch that we saw at the beginning. There we go, and there's your first round of the granny square. Okay, now before you do anything like go into a second round, what you need to do is slip stitch to this hole here. So you go into the next chain along, stitch along, yarn over, come through if you can. It's a bit fiddly. Come on. There we go. Then into the next one, slip stitch into the next one, and then slip stitch into the next one, and hopefully that'll be a little bit invisible for you, because then you arrive at this corner here. Okay, so what you need to do in this corner is a set of 3 double crochets into this space, almost like this hole here, but into this space this time. So what you do the same as before. For your first double crochet, you chain 3, then you do a second double crochet, which is a proper one, like that, and then a third double crochet like that. So that's your first cluster or a shell like that. Then you do your chain 2, okay. Now in the same corner, because you're making a corner here, you do another set of double crochets. Let's get some more wool. That's 1. 2, 3. Okay, so now you turn it, that's a corner there you've created. So then you chain 2, which then goes past this cluster of the previous row, and on this occasion that goes straight into your corner. It'll be a bit different in the next round, which you'll understand. So then you create 3 double crochets, okay. Go, and then chain 2, then in the same space in the corner here you create 1, 3, and then 2 more for 3. Oops. Go, so that's another corner made there. And then to go past this previous shell, chain 2, and then on this occasion this space is the corner. So what do you do on a corner? You do 2 sets. So go in, so how many have we got so far? We've got 2, so that means, oops, that's 3. Okay, so now we're on a corner, so that means chain 2, and in the same space, because it's a corner, we do another 3 double crochets to make another cluster or shell. So that's 2. So there we go, that's 3. Okay, so that's created another corner. So then to go past the previous shell, you go for a chain 2, and then this is another corner, okay, because the granny square is quite small. You hit a corner quite quickly. What am I doing? Oh yes, I was right. So it's another 3 double crochets. Right, I always check this because sometimes I've done 4 or 2. It goes too fast sometimes when you get the hang of it. So then I've done my chain 2 and I'm going into my second lot here. So that's 2. There we go, so that's another corner. Now, changing colour, not changing colour. Now you might want to actually change colour at some point, and I think I might show you that in another video, but that was crossing my mind just now, changing colour, but I will show that in another video. I want to change chain 2, that's what I was thinking. So chain 2. That's the only things going on in my mind at the moment. And then on the 3rd chain, which is here, slip a stitch. Okay, there we go. So now if you look at that, nice and square. It's getting into a bit of a pattern here. There we go. So another round. And this will be roughly what it'll be for the rest of the time now. So you'll understand why I've had to go to this round for you to see what the rest of it will look like. So now then, what we do is we go to the next chain to slip stitch to the corner, and then the next one, and I think that might be it roughly, and then three sets of double crochet because we've hit a corner. No, that's actually not what we do. Because we're on a new round, what do? We chain 3 for the first double crochet. Yay! Then we do a first proper double crochet, which makes that that's what we do, and then we do a third. There we go. Then we chain 2, and then we do another 3, but these are proper double crochets. There we go. So that's 2. Trying to keep track. Just have to check. Right, so that's a corner. that's done in the next round. And then because there's a shell in the previous one, that tells you to chain 2. Now then, we have our first side hole. So this means that for the first time we are greeted with our first 3 sets of 3 double crochets in a space on the side. So that's what we do. So it's only one set because it's not a corner. So on a corner we do 2 sets, but on the side we only do 1 set. So that's 2. And 3. So there we go, you see, that's what happens. So then when there's a shell on the previous one, and after a set of triple crochets, double crochets, we chain 2, and then we hit a corner, which means 2 sets of double crochets. I've just done the chain 2, so now we're just about to do the first set of 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, okay, and then chain 2, and then in the same space do another set of double crochets. So that's my 2, yarn over, go through the space, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Keep running out of wool. Right, so that's a corner created. Now the shell beneath me, and the fact that I've just done 3 means that I'm chaining 2 past the shell and into a side space, and a side space means only 1 set of 3 double crochets. There we go. So that's 2, another 1, 3. There we go. So any side ones, the granny square gets bigger, there'll be more side ones, and it'll increase. You might get 20 side ones, or as it gets bigger. So all the side ones will just have 1, but then when you reach a corner, like we will now with our chain 2, we then make another corner by doing 2 sets of double crochet. That's 2. So creating a corner, you do 2 sets of double crochet. That's the 1 set. You do the chain 2 to make the bend, and then you do another set. 3 double crochets. There we go. Now then, the chain 2 goes past the previous shell, or the fact you've just done a set of 3. There we go. So you go past and into this side space. Always in a side space you do a set of 3. So that's double crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3. There we go. There we go, and then you chain 2, which is over the shell, but then you hit a corner again, so a corner means 2 sets, so that's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you've done your 3 there, but then you chain 2, and then you do another set of 3. So that's 2, and then third one, like that, and then you chain 2 to go past this shell, and just after that set of 3 you did, and then you start going into this space here. So the side space equals just 1 set of 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then, whoops, my wool has got tangled, and then you do a chain 2, and now you reach the end of your square, so you chain, go into the chain to slip like this, and then as you can see your granny square has increased. So you still have the corners. This time your side spaces have increased to 2. So on those 2 occasions this time you do a set of 3 double crochets. So you chain 2 past these, and then you go to the corner, and that of course as the granny square gets bigger, you know, your side spaces will get a lot more, and so that's, you still obey the rules in that sense. So you might want to, let me just had that on my mind earlier, you might want to change colour, so you slip stitch all the way to the end like this. Now this is a good way of doing it. Okay, so in fact the last slip stitch you keep for the change of colour. So then I've got this. It doesn't have to, you know, this is a random colour. It doesn't have to be this type of colour. You can do it all sorts of colours. So the last slip stitch in here, I'm going to go into the stitch, okay, and the yarn over of the slip stitch is going to go over like this. I'm going to pull it through like that, and then pull it through like a slip stitch like that. So the purple is ready for working on like this. So then I will now that we've reached the corner, I will do the chain 3 for the next round, which will, if you remember, will be the first double crochet, and then the next one will be the 2 double crochets for the corner. Then I would chain 2. I like this wool better actually. And then don't cut any wool yet. 3 double crochets, and all the time keeping this wool attached above the work like that. And then one last double crochet, so then that's your next round, that's your corner, and then you can carry on in a different colour then and keep going round. Have this there for as long as you like, possibly to the next corner or a little bit, and then cut it quite long and just leave it back, and then in a couple of rows time, a couple of rounds time, sew in the ends. Okay, I'll do another video about sewing in the ends at some point, because I've really come a cropper about sewing in the ends. I've just been lazy about it, and it's just been awful. Okay, so there we go, and that, my friends, is how you do a granny square, and you can just keep going and make a blanket for yourself or for somebody else. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that, and I mean, I'd like to change colours every couple of rounds or every two or three rounds. It's really great fun, and if you just keep going, it can be very addictive, and hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.